crafty friends, Christina here with you from Sunny Day Memories. Happy Tuesday. We are together again for Together on Tuesday. And in keeping with this month's theme of keeping it simple for the holidays, in case we have last minute projects that we want to get done, I have a really simple holiday card here that just has a fun technique of doing kind of a color wash that works for both a holiday card or a non-holiday card. At the end, I will show you another card sample that uses the same design, and it's not holiday specific, so that way if you already have your holiday cards done, perhaps it will give you inspiration for some future cards that you need to work on. So let's go ahead and get started creating this one. So tonight I'm going to be using the stamp set. It's called Reindeer Memories. It's kind of more geared towards scrapbooking. As you can see, some of the images are a little bit bigger and obviously meant for a scrapbook page, but we're going to use this fa la la here as our little sentiment going on here. And then the other star of this card is the Deckled Rectangles, which I also showcased last week, but I figured I would showcase them again this week because they are so phenomenal and they are on the last chance items right now, and they're 60% off. So you can get, I believe it's 8 dies that come in this. Yep, 8. And it's only $18. So I think it's a great deal for dies, especially dies that you will use over and over again. I just think that the decal adds just a nice detail, just a little outside the normal rectangle shape. Those are the two that we'll be featuring with this. And we are going to start by creating the little color wash here in the center. So the piece that I'm using for that is one of the deckled rectangles. But if you don't have those and you want to just cut up your own paper, it is 3.5 inches long here by 2 1/8. So you can kind of fudge that and just do by 3.5 by 2, or you can have those exact measurements. And I am actually using the thick basic white because I'm gonna get it wet. I wanted it to just be a little bit thicker. I didn't choose to use the watercolor paper. I just am using the thick one, just like I said, because it's gonna get a little wet. And then I also have a piece of black that I'm matting that on. And this one I did not use the dye with. This one I thought it kind of popped it up a little bit nice and made it a little more, just elevated the card because I'm stamping in that black. So having that black matting, just a very slim amount of that, just really makes that pop a little bit nice. So this measures 3 5/8 long, and it's 2 1/4 tall. So it's just 1/8 of an inch all the way around, bigger than the piece that we're going to be stamping our sentiment on. And then I have a piece of the real red, and that measures 3 7/8 long by 2 1/2 tall. And finally, we have the card base. It's just a standard 5 1/2 long by 8 1/2. So that way you can go ahead and score it at 4 1/4. And this is just the basic white cardstock. So really just 4 pieces that we're having to use. And if you wanted to, you could skip the little black matting as well. So really simple design here. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a block. So I'm taking this block here and an ink pad, and you should have like a water bottle or our spritzer handy. I'm just using just a water bottle so you guys can see how easy it is with a water bottle, because I know more people have that on hand than they have our little spritzer. So what I've done is I am going to go ahead, just like you would with a stamp, is I am going to tap this in on my ink pad here, picking up color. And it does not need to be absolutely perfect. You can have little gaps in it. You can have it completely filled. Each one you do is going to be absolutely different. They're very like organic in nature because, as you'll see, this is one when I do here is going to look totally different than my sample one, just because the image, how much ink I get on here versus how much water I add to it. It's just all very variable. And so then I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna spritz it lightly, just so that I get some movement of that ink. You don't want a lot of water on there, just enough so that you can kind of see that it is gonna start moving. And I might have put a little bit too much water on this one, but that's okay. And then you're just gonna go ahead and you're gonna go down and you're gonna stamp it down like you normally would. I just let it sit there just for a minute just to make sure it gets good contact on my paper and so that it can really release on there. And then you're gonna see that it did get really color, a pool of color up there, which is fine. Just let it sit and dry. And then you're gonna wanna take a paper towel and just go ahead and wipe off your block so you take off that excess ink. And you can wash it too if you want, but just have a paper towel handy so that way you can get that all off. And then if you have any excess water, just wipe that up too. And you notice that I did use the silicone mat, so that way that if I do have any stray ink running anywhere, it does not get anywhere else other than on my silicone mat. So since that will take a minute, well, longer than a minute, but a little bit more time to dry, we are gonna actually set that aside. and I'm going to bring in a piece that I've already done. So you can see, let me just put the 3 of them together so you can just see just how unique. So here's my sample one, here's the one that we just did, and then here's another one that I've done. So they all look a little bit different, all the same technique, all the same color, because I use that garden green on all 3 of them. Just fun though that you can create such a different look and you're just doing the same thing over and over. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab my stamp, my sentiment, and put it on my block that I've already cleaned so that I can go ahead and stamp that in the black. And so the fun thing is you can kind of decide after you've done it how you want to do it, because since I have kind of more dark up here, I'm going to go ahead and have it this direction, so that way the dark part's up there so I can go ahead and stamp here in the middle where it's a little bit lighter in color. But it's up to you how you want to do it after you've gotten that kind of fun look, that color wash look to it. So I'm going ahead and inking it up in the black, my sentiment here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that right in the center. Again, I'm just letting it hold for just a second to really let that ink absorb into the paper. And there we have our sentiment going across there. And I'm just going to simply go ahead and layer all of these together. I am not doing any kind of dimensionals on this. I'm keeping it all very flat so it's easy to mail, which is good at this time of year, right? We don't want to have to pay extra because we're probably mailing a lot of cards. So it helps keep the cost down. And then I'm centering on the real red here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and center this on the card base. So really, it's a very quick and easy card. You could totally mass produce this because you would just do over and over, just stamping that block onto the white piece, and then it's just layering all the pieces together. And so then to finish it off, you could just have your card like this, but I kind of liked having the additional little detail. Oops, and I got splatters on there from doing that. I shouldn't have had my sample card so close to it, but it kind of adds to the effect of it, so I'm not worried. But I went ahead and I took 2 of these faceted iridescent gems, one of the large and one of the small, up here in the corner, just to kind of bring some shininess to it, more festive look to it. And that's all there is. It's really quick and easy card with that fun technique. So I hope you've enjoyed it. And until next time, stay crafty.